one. This is the one that's been doing great results. They're easy to pop off with a screwdriver. You can slide it back on. I'm going to show you what it compares looks like. It's hard to see that other stuff down there. You can see them way down there. If 3 may want to look at that on video, just let me know. The good thing about that other box, if you guys want to send me a whole chip like this, and all I have to do is just solder these little switches, maybe I could do that, or send me a whole amp for free. But I don't want to solder MOSFETs, but the MOSFET probably is already attached to this thing. Probably that's the only thing inside what I like about it. If the MOSFETs are attached in it, that'd be good. If you guys want to send me a whole RM LED for free, 203P, just like this guy, this is the goodest one here. It does the 200 watts. The only one time I had to replace the fuse one time, that's it. And I have fuses for that. But this thing, it's been fantastic. It's been making contacts all over the place. And I think that was the first time I talked to California with on the Macintosh 2119 when I was saying the RM LED or the Quad 5, but it was actually this thing made to San Francisco, California on the first try. And I was and also I was talking to California with this, and Las Vegas when I turned this guy on with the Cobra 139. That's when I was doing with this guy. I think it was doing 200 watts that day when I was doing on sideband. This thing is a good one. If you guys can tell me how to keep this thing longer going, if you guys want to see me a good quality fan, I have other fans too, but most I can hook them up to that power supply just like this guy here. This is the power supply I'm using for the RM LED 203Ps. Both of them. You guys can see that upside down. It's usually the 15 amps. The other one was a 25 amp one, the one I was running for the Silver Eagle. This is the one I'm running for my RM LED and running this device here. That's the only thing I'm doing. That's the one I'm running with the RM LED. And it's doing pretty quite good with this thing. Except you guys hear that preamp when it kicks off. And you have to flip the switch on this thing here to kick it back in. Sometimes it will do that. That's the only thing it does. And this is the one that's keeping it. It will not run the black box too well because it'll make that sputter sound. But this does very quite good. I think this one I had to tighten up the silver things one time. You guys see how that is. That's probably the one I did this one a while back. But it's running very good. So it's doing fantastic work. So that's the one I've been running the videos with the Cobra 139. That's the one I talked to UDX 122 last night with this guy. So pause this and I'll show you the other one. We're back. This is the big guy. Watch. CQDX, calling CQDX, UDX 362 from East Tennessee, trying calling CQ. Let's try this. I'm going to go to AM second. You guys will see the modulation. I'm going to show you that in a minute. There we go. I'm going to take this guy apart in a second. Watch this. Breaker 19 for a rear check. Breaker 19 for a rear check. Breaker 19 for a rear check. How about a flash? You out there? Breaker 1, 2, breaker 1, 2, break, break, break. Foxman calling out there. Can you hear me? Make sure everything's hooked up right. Channel 9. Channel 8, Channel 7. South of the border, Channel I. jump over to CQ UDX land. Flip this switch here. Watch this. CQDX calling CQDX. UDX 362 from East Tennessee calling CQDX. Any stations out there this evening? How about any stations out there today calling CQDX? UDX 362 from Tennessee trying. We got a very badass fly noise. Look at that, guys. So I'm going to pull out the other box out here, show you in a second. So this is the one I showed you guys on one of my private videos. I'll have to put it in here when I get time. Back in 2018, this is the one I bought. The other one I bought the same year in 2018, a few weeks later. One I paid $90, one I paid $40. The other one, the one with that big long blue one, the aqua one, it works very fantastic. That's the one I used a lot on my things. This was in my bag on some of those things I did with a car battery hooked up with this thing with a serial lighter adapter. Maybe we could use it for that, but if you guys can get me some, if you guys can get the whole thing of this thing, that'd be nice. You just put it in there, you know, screw it and all that stuff. Most of the screws actually are holding in that board right there. I have tightened the silver things one time when I had problems. I think it was this one or the other one probably. But the other one of them I did not mess with. The other one I had to tighten these guys up. So this is an REM 203P, but the other one's probably a real one, and it's an older one. This is the darker blue version I have, and the other one was the aqua one. The aqua one is the one that's been doing very quite well, and it didn't even hook up a proper power supply back then, as you see in my previous videos. And that thing is hitting on, I showed you the guys on the knobs I've been doing. It's on the 10 o'clock position on the Cobra 139. On this guy here, you guys see that little orange thing on there? Right here. I'll point you to the pointer. It's in the 10 o'clock position right about there. With that little 10 o'clock position right there. Right there is where it's at. It used to be up there a long time ago on that blue mark. And it's running a knob as 4. Maybe I need to put a better fan system, but this is an old computer power supply I got back in 2007. It puts out a little air, but it's actually running on the power supply back here on this thing. You can hook it up like that. It's not even clicking. So it's doing okay. At least we got a fan on it to keep it cool. But I'll have to look for another one there. I used to run a power thing. This thing's doing okay, but I have to replace this later on. This little guy here. That little thing later on. I have some stuff with those little orange things. But the quad 5 is still doing good. My true SWR meter is the quad 5 still. The same results. But this thing, probably this meter is out of whack, except the antenna matcher works fine. That's what happened. These lights haven't worked ever since a few nights ago. Maybe they'll come back. But it's doing good. But this meter is kind of way out of whack. But I don't know about this meter, but we'll have to check that one at a time. But we can hear Australia coming in right now, guys. So I showed you guys the box a while ago. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great night. 6:05 on a Friday evening. Look at the temperature on my porch is 87 degrees. It probably was at 90 degrees today. So this thing has been a fantastic beast. Maybe I can get the picture of that label in the back of it, you guys can see it. When this radio was done back in '84. And you guys can see that label in the back. I'll get back in a second and show you. If I never showed it to anybody, you'll find that label in a second. There it is. The label's right there below the connectors. Not below the bell. There it is. Can you guys read that? That's when it was done the last time in Pennsylvania. We gotta focus on it. I'm trying to look at it on that side there. There we go. Let's give you guys a label look. I wasn't able to see that. That's when it was done the last time. All right, catch you guys.